Hello everybody and welcome to the channel Crossing the Spiritual Streams. My name is Sandra and today we're going to do a Tarot Pick-a-Pile card reading for the astrological sign of Aquarius for the year 2021. And because not all Aquarians are the same, we like to give you a choice of piles to pick from here so you can get different messages. The first one has a red stone on it. The second one has a yellow stone. And the third one has a blue stone. Now this can be for your sun, moon, and or rising signs. And it is recommended that you check out the other videos that correspond to those as well. For example, if your sun is in Aquarius, but your moon is in Gemini, and your ascendant's in Cancer, then you should watch the Gemini and the Cancer videos as well. That kind of thing. That's the example there. It is a good idea to go with your gut instinct, whichever one you feel most compelled to watch. If you're having some difficulties choosing, you can close your eyes, and then when you open them back up, whichever one your eye automatically is drawn to, or if you hear a certain number in your head or a certain color, those might be ways that you can choose. If you feel compelled to do so, you can watch more than one pile, because sometimes there are messages in more than one for some people. So sometimes that can happen as well. Okay, we're going to give you a moment or so to reflect on the piles, and there will be timestamps listed in the description so you can go directly to your pile when you're ready to watch it. And so we'll see you at your pile. Hello Aquarius Pile 1, those of you that chose the red stone here. Let's see what kind of general energies or things that you might be dealing with, things that might come up during your year. We have our Black Moon astrology card that we're going to look at first, and we're going to go ahead and read in the booklet for that because there's lots of detailed information that the booklet has, and so there might be something important there. Then we're also going to look at our tarot cards for extra clarification and maybe some extra insights and info. We also are going to look at our charms, so we're going to get those later on as well. We also have our oracle spheres where you can be basically ask a yes or no type of question and get an answer to that as well. So let's get started. All right, number 3, Mercury Mind. All right. That's really cool. Let's see what the booklet has to say on Mercury. Sorry about that. I'm a little trouble getting to it. Okay. If you want to tell people the truth, make them laugh. Otherwise, they'll kill you. Oscar Wilde. Mercury, the planet of intelligence and talking, is the closest planet to the sun, also making it the fastest planet to move through the zodiac. The Mercury card suggests you must put effort behind your talk. The god Mercury is the Roman counterpart of the Greek god Hermes, the messenger with wings at his heels and on his hat, connected to everything associated with the mind. Quick wit, brevity, mental flights, trickery, inspiration, and also movement, as in moving ahead and also transits. Mercury gives poetry to the imagination, since the god Mercury and Hermes are related to the Egyptian god of Thoth, god of writing, patron of scribes, and those who work as divine meditation or mediators and interpreters. The god Mercury and his counterparts also have very much to do with magic and medicine. When it comes to the body, Mercury rules the eyes, brain, nerves, as well as the fingers and toes. In ancient Greece, Hermes was the god of roads and transportation and was the son of Apollo, the sun god. This makes sense, Mercury being the closest planet to the sun. Mercury is also a comedian and can be a bit of a trickster. Just when the energy seems to be flowing one way, Mercury changes the direction. Might we add, Mercury is spontaneous and insanely flexible. Excuse me. Mercury is the wisdom and the stupidity found in intelligence when it is not connected to the heart or to the feelings. Mercury maximizes the imagination, but can also symbolize the liar when it comes to double talk with mixed meanings. It is the planet of gaslighting, causing purposeful confusion in the minds of others to gain something not really deserved. However, Mercury shows how mentally sharp and flexible we are, our mental range, and how eloquent. Mercury tends to be chatty, superficial, and into playing games, psychological games, and other types of puzzles. Mercury governs friendly relationships and also the Freudian slip, where you say something that doesn't come out as intended but actually reveals your real thoughts. When the Mercury card presents itself in a reading, it is time to use all of your mental facilities to get your point across. Words and how you use them are very significant. It may mark a period where you either have to talk your way out of something or talk your way into something. Whatever the reason or occurrence, how you communicate through writing or speaking is of utmost importance here. Composition, writing, or editing may figure in. It is not a time to stay static or to sit still. Be aware of gossip and other scandals. The important thing to remember is that what you say in this situation can and will be used against you, so choose your words wisely. The planet Mercury also rules over technology, so if your question is about career or a job, you can be certain mastering some newer form of technology is about to come into play. Since Mercury is the planet of speed, you can expect to see fast developments. Regarding romance or relationships, it can mean that friendship is the best option for you now. The time has not yet ripened to enter a relationship with the person. You may attract partners and perhaps friends who are non-emotional, highly rational, and objective. These lovers or friends may be offended by flip remarks or joking over serious matters. You may become involved with someone who double talks, is witty, but who does not emotionally connect. This is also the card of brothers and sisters as well as twins. Now marks a period which involves observation, reasoning, taking things apart and putting them back together as they were in your own order. It is a time of flighty emotions and matters developing quickly. Mercury also signifies travels, maps, and staying in motion, so you may be going on a trip, a more noteworthy vacation than the usual trips you take. The matter in question is the best served by using intellect, weighing the matter, being reasonable, and also being spontaneous in your responses. Colors and forms of magic may also figure in. Mercury brings on keen awareness, so use your mind and what you know to the fullest in this matter. The Mercury card in brief: writing, words, being good with words and numbers, counting the number 7, books, magazines, libraries, reading voraciously, the post office, mail, the internet, telecommunications, software, speech, impromptu speaking, incessant talking, communication, debates, the key to knowledge, teachers and education, having deep, penetrating perception, exactitude, sharpening your wit, comedy, using humor, maps and following maps, vehicles, roads, staying in motion, speed, swiftness, siblings, youth, and appearing youthful, eyes, fingers, the brain, and the voice box, merchants and anything mercantile, being versatile, being adaptable, being expressive and animated, as above, so below, playing pranks, being a trickster, lying when the truth serves you better, remaining elusive, talking while not listening, being hard to pin down, remaining deft and outwitting any opponents. The corresponding tarot card is the Magician, and the key ideas are speaking, travel, speed, coordination, adeptness, arguments, glibness, and technology. Okay, let's see what else we have going here that will help us figure out the year. Community, number 7. That's great, because number 7 is one of the numbers Mercury rules, as well as community. That shows a lot of talking. You guys might have to do a lot of talking in your community or being part of a community. You might be spending a lot of time with them this year, and maybe not even in person. It could be through the internet or other telecommunication ways, not necessarily in person. All right, we have the 4 of Cups, the Judgment card, the 2 of Swords. That's interesting. Okay, the Chariot, the Fool, the Star, the King of Wands, the Knight of Swords, the Moon card, the Page of Swords, the Three of Cups, and the Fool card again. Wow, okay. I see a lot of quick movement this year, a lot of things moving very quickly. With the Chariot card, Mercury is a very fast-moving planet. Everything moves very, very quickly. I also see importance with your community and working with your community, your groups, your friends, your family, the people that matter to you. And like I said, it's very possible that your communication with them this year will not necessarily be in person so much as through the internet, through the phone, through telecommunications, through those type of ways, Zoom meetings, whatever. Those kinds of things are very important. But your community is very important this year. In dealing with your community this year, talking to them. New ideas are also something that's going to come to you this year. You have the Page of Swords and the Knight of Swords and the Two of Swords. The Two of Swords often deals with making decisions and choices, or maybe the unseen, not being known. And we also have the Star card as well. So I think for a little while, there might be some things that are hidden from you or knowledge that you don't have at first. But I do feel like this knowledge will come to you, and then you'll just be able to swiftly move with it. Also, I think new ideas are going to come to you this year. With the Chariot and the Page of Swords and the Knight of Swords showing up, I really feel like those are huge things for you. The Swords cards deals a lot with, it's an air sign, and it deals a lot with our ideas and ideas coming to us out of thin air even, those kinds of things. And with the Page and the Knight, they kind of bring those messages to you, and they also, send them back out into the public in a lot of ways with the Knight. So I kind of feel like you guys are going to have a lot of ideas come to you very quickly this year, and then you're going to shoot them back out there. You're going to communicate them back out into the world. We also have the Star card, which is very much a sign of Aquarius. And Aquarius is an air sign. And, Swords is very much all about you guys. And you guys are the kind of people that already have those kinds of quick knowledge moments, those kind of quick things coming to you. You already have that as part of your makeup. And then with the Mercury card backing that up, and with the Swords cards too, that's just going to be enhanced this year. That's going to be something that you're going to spend a lot of time doing. One of the things that Aquarians are noted for is their community and their friends, and having lots of friends. And so I do think that your friendships will strengthen, deepen, and you will have, focusing on your friends is going to be important for you this year, as it usually is for Aquarians, but it's definitely going to be very important in 2021 for you. It's going to be something you're going to want to spend time doing. And communing. There is going to be a little bit of emotional things happening this year. You're not sure where to go with your emotions is what I'm getting a feeling for this year. With the Four of Cups and the Moon card, I feel like sometimes Aquarians tend to be not as emotional about things, and Mercury kind of has that tendency as well. And so with that kind of being a doubled up energy for you this year, I feel like you may not be sure where you're going emotionally. You may not be sure, whether or not your friendships are going to be any deeper. I don't think romance is going to be a big focus for you this year. I think your emotions are going to be a lot more superficial and more friendly and more with friends. There might be somebody offering romance to you this year with the Four of Cups. It's kind of, it's possible that you could be offered that, but you may not notice it. You may not see it. You may be so caught up in your thoughts, your ideas, your other things coming to you, your new inventions, your creativeness from that point of view, that you may not see it. The Fool card I always like to call him the traveler instead of the fool, because the fool always has this connotation of going off and being foolish and not looking where you're going and stuff like that. But in this case, I do think that you guys might be so excited over the things happening for you this year and the things that you're coming up with this year that you may go forward very quickly without giving it a lot of thought, believe it or not, even though this year is all about thinking about things, all about thoughts coming to you and that kind of thing. The whole year is focused on that. But you might run off very quickly with those thoughts and not really dwell on them for long, not really spend a lot of time thinking about them. It might behoove you to maybe step back a little bit and do that. It might be a good idea to maybe do that when you guys get a chance, because you do have the Two of Swords and the Judgment card, which shows thinking through things might be good. Coming up with a judgment of whether or not things are good. It might be something, since Mercury does deal a lot with communication, you guys might say things quickly without thinking about them first, and you might be judged for that. We're kind of in that mode a lot where a lot of the things were said, even if they're not meant that way, might get judged by other people. So it might be a good idea to think through your thoughts and actions and what you say and do before you actually do them. It's going to be a hard challenge for you this year. It's going to be something that is going to be very difficult for you to do, because your thoughts and everything is going to come at you so quickly, and that you just want to get all that out there to the world, that you may not slow up a little bit and kind of go, whoops, wait, oh, okay, I want to make sure I say this right, because I don't want it to be misconstrued. I don't want people to pass judgment. I don't want it to go the wrong way. So make sure that you kind of maybe take just a few beats, just a second or two, just a little bit to think through things for just a moment, before you put it out there for the world at large to see and do. But I do see a lot of new ideas, a lot of things coming to you very quickly this year. You guys are all about the new inventions. You guys are all about new ideas. You're going to be very passionate about something this year. You're going to want to move forward with it. The Chariot can make that happen very quickly for you. You're going to be very idealistic this year in a lot of ways. You're going to be very free spirit, as Aquarians tend to be already. You're just going to be more intensified with that this year. It's going to be something that you're, very much want to put your ideas out there and go with it. And I'm not necessarily saying it's a bad thing either, because you could have some really great ideas that are really wonderful, that you can get out there this year. And so, don't necessarily hold back your ideas. I didn't say that, because I do think they could be very good ideas this year and very good things. Like I said, it's almost like you're going to feel like you're getting downloads from the universe at certain points. Like a bunch of, an information dump almost into your brain, and then you're just going to be excited to just get all that out there. Maybe taking time to write in a journal might be important, although I think most of your communication is going to be talking this year, believe it or not. I think you're going to spend a lot of time talking to people, not necessarily writing things down as much, although that is a good form of communication, and you might be able to edit things a little bit better when you do that. But I do think talking is going to be big for you this year. You're going to spend a lot of time talking to people. You might be doing community groups. You might be just having fun getting together with your friends and chatting and talking about intellectual ideas. You could get together with work groups and other things like that, and spending a lot of time talking that way as well. I just think communicating, especially talking, is going to be really important this year. Okay, let's take a look at our charms to see if there's any other messages or clarifiers. And then we also have our oracle spheres we're going to get to in a moment as well. Okay, let's see what our charms have to say here. Okay. We do have the number 6. The 6 is a nice number because it deals with youthful vitality, getting accolades, recognition, having, coming back with our laurels from battles or other things, or getting our ideas out there. So 6 is a really good number for that. We do have some letters that might mean something to you. We have a C, W, and a K. So they could be initials. Words could come to mind when you see that. Other things going on there like that. We do have the butterfly, which with your air travel, I think of butterflies, kind of flittering through the air and all that, and that's just a very important element for you this year, just getting things that way. We also have the dove, messenger, and the feather. The messenger could just mean that you have a lot of messages this year to get out, a lot of things to get out. Also with the dove messenger and the feather, I see there might be information from spirit this year, messages coming from spirit as well. So that just plays right along with the whole reading so far as we're going. We do have the 7 of diamonds, which is the 7 of pentacles. And that's a nice little card for reaping and getting the benefits of things that are being put out there. We also have the balloons, which is another air energy. Balloons go out into the air. And I just kind of see this as you just putting ideas out there. You're just going to be shooting ideas out in the air, and they're going to float out there into the ether. Air is very, very important for you this year. The air sign, you are an air sign, plus air, just communication and air in general is just going to be a huge, huge factor for you guys this year. We do have the skull and crossbones, and I just see that as a warning, once again, to be careful who you trust, who you're with, who you communicate with this year, because you're going to be doing lots of communication. And so just be kind of careful with that. We do have some other worded messages that might be really important here as well. We have live in the moment, health, happiness, and treasure, and a family's love is forever. Now, we did see the community card, and I do see your community as also being your family and friends. I do think they're going to be very important for you this year. I think you're going to celebrate with them, spend as much time as you can with them, even if it's just online, even if it's just that way. I think you're going to spend a lot of time communicating with them this year. The card did deal with brothers and sisters too, so your brothers and sisters might be very important this year. Your communications with them might be stronger and deeper than they normally are. So keep that in mind. I think that might be something really cool. Live in the moment is always an important message for me. I do think that you guys are going to be moving so fast this year with ideas and other things that you might forget to enjoy yourself as you're kind of going along here. So don't forget that. Make sure you enjoy things as they're happening, like all this messages you get. You also have the star for love you. That could also be another message from spirit and the astrological signs that they love you. We do have the fiery, passionate salamander. You are going to be very passionate about some things this year. We do have a home sweet home, which is great because I do feel like your home will be important this year. I think a lot of you are going to work from home or be doing lots of communications from your home. I see that a lot. It's interesting how we have the turtle here because everything else in the reading is very fast paced. And then we have the turtle. So I almost see that as once in a while, slow up, enjoy the moment. Like I said, take that beat or two to think about what you say before you actually say it. Other things like that. I think it's just kind of that little bit of a, hey, don't forget to do this. Don't forget. Everything's going to be going so fast this year. Make sure you do that. We also have a couple of kitty cats this year, which I always see as we do have the heart one here too, which is showing love. I do think with cats, they show a lot of intuition, that kind of thing going on. So I think your intuition is going to be big this year. I think a lot of the ideas that are going to come to you, you're not going to know where the ideas came from, but a lot of it is going to be your intuition and things. Also, I have the rocking horse for children or youthful energies. I think you're going to feel very youthful this year, very excited and get out there. And you're going to have some creativity too as well with the French horn there. These are all things that we were talking about earlier. The number 3 card and Mercury does deal a lot with creativity and creating things, as do the Wands cards, and you have the King of Wands. So I do think your creative energies are going to be very flowing. Like I said, creative ideas is what's really going to come out this year. Um, Ideas are going to come to you, and some are going to be very creative ones and very unusual ones and very unique and different. And so that's just something that is just going to happen all year long for you. It's going to be a big focus this year. So that's really cool. All right, so we also have our Oracle spheres. And basically, if you were thinking of a yes or no type of question that you wanted an answer to, it could be about your upcoming year or about something you've just been wondering about. We have 4 different stands. We have 1 red, 2 blue, 3 yellow, and 4 green. And you can decide which stand you would like your answer to appear on. And we'll go ahead and get our answers. All right, the number 1 red is very likely. Number 2... Goodness, I'm having trouble answering number 2. Every once in a while it takes a few minutes for one to come out. All right, number 2 blue is a yes. Number 3 yellow is another yes. And number 4 green, whoa, is another very likely. Okay, so we have a red very likely, a blue yes, a yellow yes, and a green very likely. So those are your answers to your Oracle Sphere question there. I really hope you guys got some good messages out of this. It sounds like you're going to have a very fascinating year, which is great. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up and leave us comments in the comments section. Share this video or the other videos, the whole channel, with your friends and family. That would be great. You know, put it out there on all the different social media platforms you can think of. Give them a chance to see the channel and maybe get some good messages from it. We would love that. Also, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. All of those things that we're asking of you are free to do, and they're very, very, very helpful to us. We are not monetized through YouTube, and we're still trying to grow. And this is our best, easiest way to do that. It helps YouTube decide to share our channel with other people, and we very much appreciate it when you guys can do that. If you can check out our other videos on the channel, that would be great. We have lots of timeless tarot readings out there that might be of interest to you. We have flip-throughs of the different tarot decks so you can see what they look like. We also have videos on how to read tarot cards if that's of interest to you. We also are getting ready to start a new group of readings dealing with runes and numerology involved with those. So those might be something that you'll want to check out when we start posting those as well. All right, guys, we hope you have a wonderful year 2021, and we look forward to seeing you in future videos. May the stars guide your path. Bye-bye. Hello, Aquarius Pile 2. Those of you that chose the yellow stone. We have our Black Moon astrology card we're going to do first, and we're going to look in the booklet for that because there's lots of detailed messages in there that might be very useful to you. Then we also have our tarot cards that we're going to look at and might get some extra information or clarity from as well. We also are going to be looking at our charms coming forward here, and we also have our Oracle spheres where you can be asking a yes or no type of question that you can get an answer to that we're going to do later on in the reading. So let's get started and see where we're at. We have number 52. Void of course, moon missing. Wow, okay. Let's see what that has to say. That's interesting. 52, it's one of the later cards here. That's the last card. Okay. The moon is a friend for the lonesome to talk to. Carl Sandburg. All is not as it seems. This void of course moon card can be daunting. It may not be a good or appropriate time to answer your question. As it is now, the results may not be what you want. What is a void of course moon? The moon travels through the entire zodiac in 27.5 days. There is a moment when the moon makes its last major aspect before leaving one sign and entering the next. It's as if the moon has gone to sleep. Her wisdom is being withheld until she moves into a new sign and the moon begins a new chapter or story. The usual axiom for starting things on a void of course moon is nothing will come of the matter. Matters will not go as you planned. In fact, most of the time it will end up far worse than you planned. You have been caught blissfully unaware. You've missed something or you weren't paying close enough attention. But you won't be able to set the situation right at the current time. This card says to sit still and stay as you are. Take no action at the current time. Wait for the storm to pass over. It is time to be patient and allow matters to settle before beginning anew. Allow this matter to resolve on its own without your help, work, or interference. Don't bail anyone out or make loans currently because it is unlikely you will be repaid. Medical results will probably not be accurate. If your question is about a job or career move, then it's not the right one. If you apply for a job and get hired, it will not be long lasting. It's possible you will get hired and then a more suitable job will come along and you will have to leave the first one. After a long and costly effort, your matter in question may fail. People around you may start behaving like screw-ups. It could be that great passions are playing against you. Discipline is needed. It's not a time to act impulsively. Whatever you do as your routine will stay as it is. However, matters that are unplanned or spontaneous will tend to work out for you. A void of course moon can be used to your benefit, so keep this in mind when this card shows up in a spread. For instance, you can work on something you really don't want. You can interact with persons you don't really want to become a fixture in your life. Embarking on anything new or untried will tend to go wrong. In other words, when the void of course moon card presents itself in a spread, if you agree to plans you don't really want to come about, then it will be very likely they will not come about. However, meditation and any type of meditation and any type of psychic or spiritual efforts will work out better when the void of course moon card turns up. It's a good time to dream and even make plans. Just do not act on them yet. Also, do not plan a wedding if this card comes up. Keep in mind the time is not yet ripe. The void of course moon card in brief. Weather cancellations, frustrations, delays, vagueness, hollow feelings, a sense of everything being unreal, emptiness, making mistakes and other bad decisions, promises not met, unfulfilled plans, the sleeping mind, not paying attention, false starts, matters remaining unresolved, a time to wait a while and start over, a time to float or rest, serendipitous occurrences, a time to disconnect, things begun requiring adjustments later, inconclusive or wrong medical results, an unfavorable time to apply for a job, get married, or for non-routine medical procedures. Key ideas: silence, failed judgment, false readings, wasted effort, the wrong choice, missed opportunities, sleep, and recovery. Whew, interesting. All right, let's see what other cards have to say here, see if we can get a little bit more clarification on this. All right, number 16, patience. Well, that goes along with that really well. I think the key to this year is to be patient. I think that is something that is important for you to do this year. You got a couple cards kind of screaming that out at you, and let's see what else we have going. The King of Cups, the Magician. That's interesting. The Five of Pentacles, the Hermit, okay, even more interesting, King of Swords, the Lovers, the Queen of Pentacles, the Hermit again, that there, the Six of Cups, the Ten of Pentacles, the Hanged One, and the Ace of Cups. Okay. First of all, I really think the meditation, the patience, the waiting for things, that whole energy is a really important one for you this year. We have the Hanged One, where he's sitting here contemplating things. He's thinking things out. He's trying to figure out what the next move should be. He's kind of stuck at the moment, but, he should get out of the situation as time comes. I think that is showing that. We also have the Hermit card twice. Whenever a card shows up twice in a reading, that usually means the energy is kind of doubled up or a little bit more intense. The Hermit is kind of the holding back, gaining new knowledge, going within yourself, and I think that that's important this year. I think that that meditation, I think that that going within yourself, looking for answers. It's also interesting how this Five of Pentacles almost shows that as well with the beggar here. He's at the church, but he's alone. He's by himself. Also, going to churches, sometimes are places where we can get that kind of insight and meditation. And so I kind of just see that as being for a good portion of the year. I feel like you being patient, you withdrawing into yourself a little bit, you holding off on big decisions, you trying to get a little bit more information before you decide on certain things. All of those things I think are very important this year. I do think the false starts, the delays, things maybe not happening the way you would like, at first, I think might happen as well. I think some of that stuff will be going on. It's also interesting, too, how we have the Magician card. The Magician, to me, is the ultimate manifester. He can bring in whatever he wants, but also he is that connection to the occult and to, other things, astrology, tarot card reading, numerology, rune casting, all of those types of occult knowledge and occult whatever. So I think studying that this year or working on that this year might be something very good for you. Along with being patient, I do think that going that route, doing the meditations, connecting with spirit a little bit more, learning some of the occult knowledge, I think can be very, very useful. We do have some interesting kings and queens here, by the way. And those to me almost always, sometimes they can represent you, sometimes they can represent other people in your life that you're going to come across, or they might be general energies that you will feel. And with this here, we've got the Queen of Pentacles, the King of Cups, the King of Swords. So we're kind of represented by 3 different suits here. I kind of feel like you'll come out on top of things if you do practice the patience. And the other thing, I do feel like you will reach the top of the heap, especially towards the end of the year. I think because if you do spend the year contemplating, meditating, thinking things through before you act, coming up with ideas or other things that you might want to act on in the future, if you spend time doing that this year, then I feel like you will come out ahead of the game. You will be on top of your throne, basically, ready to move forward, ready to move forward with that. Because we do have the Six of Cup energy, which is a kind generosity kind of energy. And we also have the Ace of Cups, which is the overflowing abundance kind of thing. It's also starting on new things. And then the Ten of Pentacles, too, almost always shows that as well, where you have pretty much everything coming to you, family, money, everything. You've reached the pinnacle here. So I do think that if you take your time with things this year and think through things, that you will come out on top, that emotionally and monetarily it will work out well for you. You'll have a happy family. We do have the Lovers card here, which might mean you might get involved in a relationship this year. And that's great. There's nothing wrong with that. And I don't want to tell you not to do that, because I think that's a mistake. I think getting involved in a relationship is fine if you come across one, but take it slow. Don't go really quick with it. If you do get very serious, or if you've been in a very serious relationship and you were planning on a marriage this year, there might be delays in the planning. You might have to delay when you get married. You may have problems with the venue, or with other plans, and you may have to switch plans up and make changes. So there might be some hiccups along the way. So just be aware of that, that is something that, if that's something that you've been thinking of, I really kind of got that message that might be something that you might have to deal with this year some. So just kind of know that is kind of an energy out there as well. But I do really feel like gaining inner knowledge, inner wisdom, meditating, learning new things from the occult areas might be something very beneficial to you this year. So all of those play a role this year. All of those things, I think, are things that you might think about doing. Okay, we will look at our charms here, and then also our oracle spheres will get an answer to our question. So we'll see where we're at with that. Okay. So let's see if our charms have any other messages for us, or any other energies you might be dealing with this year, or any other things that might play a role. Let's see. We do have a number 2, which is a coming together. So I see that right away as kind of going along with the Lover card there. Like I said, you might get involved in a new romance this year, or get a really caring, deeper relationship than what you already have going. I do think with the slower pace and the patience and all of that going on this year, I do see it as an opportunity for the relationship to grow very deep. So that's something to keep in mind as well. We have a group of letters here that might form some words or some other things. So let's see what we have here. We have a C-R, E, and a P, which there's not a second E there, but I instantly saw the word creep. So I'm thinking of things creeping along. I see things as kind of going a little slower for you this year, moving a little slower. But we have a C, R, E, P, K, F, C, and L. So there may be some other words that come to you very quickly there, or there might be initials or first parts of words or other things that come to mind. Once again, it's C, R, K, P, E, C, F, and L. So if you come up with some good words, you can put them in the comment section. It might help some other people out. We do have the sun and the moon, which to me, that's kind of representative of astrology in of itself. Also kind of that balanced energy, which you had the Lover's card in the number 2. So I think getting balance in your life might be very important this year as well. And I think that's where the meditation and other things come along as well. So those are things. Also, the astrology is showing up with the Saturn here as well. So I do think astrology might be important for you guys to study this year, or look into in more in-depth type of meaning, because we do have the Scorpion here, so I think of Scorpio, so I think of astrology there. We do have after all this time, always, basically. So that to me, the after all this time, always, I see that as possibly a relationship growing deeper this year, and getting deeper, because we talked about that just a little bit ago as well. So that was something I kind of just see. We do have the Rocking Horse and Inspire, and I see that as it might be good for you guys this year to inspire children and youth. We do have Rudolph as well, which kind of also deals with children. It deals with being unique, being different, and helping children understand what it's like if they are different. We do have the parrot, which is also a unique, different bird, in that it can talk and other things like that, and it's also very bright. So I do think that working with children, inspiring children, talking to them about their uniqueness and their special abilities might be very important. We do have a unicorn, once again shows uniqueness. I also see that you guys might be unique this year, and you guys do have some uniqueness. We do have a snake and an owl, and both of those denote wisdom to me. The snake can denote knowledge, or hidden knowledge or hidden things, and then we also have the owl, which is also knowledge and wisdom. I think you can gain a lot of knowledge and wisdom this year by doing the studies and the inner meditations and the inner lookings that we were talking about. I think that knowledge can really come to you. We do have a card here. It is the Eight of Wands. Eights are a wonderful creative infinity type number, and wands also deals with our creativity and also our connection to spirit. So I kind of just see that as you connecting with spirit would be very important this year. We also have the heart kitty, which might show a deep relationship that you might get with an animal this year, or a pet. We also have the word protected, which is important as far as spirit grows. We also have the frog and the musical instrument here, which also shows creativity. The frog, to me, can symbolize a couple of different things. But the one thing that comes to mind for your reading is kind of the transformation from a frog into a prince, or that there's hidden depths to things that you may not see, like, you didn't realize the frog was a prince. Also, it's that magical thing of turning a frog into a prince. You do have the Magician card, and I do think that some magical abilities, some magical energies are something that are flowing through you this year, and frogs are kind of a symbol of that as well. So just kind of keep that in mind, kind of keep that you guys do have some magical abilities that you can tap into. You might tap into, you might start doing some spell casting or some other things like that, if that is of interest to you, if that is something that you want to study as far as your occult studies go. Okay, let's get our answer to our oracle spheres. Basically, if you've been asking a yes or no type of question, could pertain to your upcoming year, could be just something that you've been wanting to know recently, something like that. Whatever it is, we have 4 different stands that you can choose from that your answer can appear on. We have 1 blue, 2 red, 3 green, 4 yellow. So whichever you would like your answer to appear on, pick that one. You can pick by number, color, whatever, and then we'll get our answers. We have a number 1 blue, not likely. Number 2 red is a very likely. Number 3 green is a not now. And a number 4 yellow is also a not now. Okay, so we have a number 1 blue, not likely. Number 2 red, very likely. Number 3 green, not now. And a number 4 yellow, not now. So that's the answers to our Oracle Sphere questions. Guys, I really hoped you had some important messages come for you this year. Please give the video a thumbs up. Please share this video and the channel with your friends and family. Put it out there on all the different social medias you can think of so they can check out the channel. Leave us comments in the comments section and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. All of those things are very useful to us, and it's very, very, very helpful. We are not monetized through YouTube, so this is our way of growing, and it's all free. All those are very free to do, so it's helpful to us, and we greatly appreciate it. Check out our other videos on the channel. We have lots of timeless tarot readings out there on various topics that might be of interest. We have videos on how to read tarot cards, so that might be something of interest to you. We also have flip-throughs of the different tarot decks so you can see what they look like. We're also coming forward in the near future, we're going to be starting to do videos that deal with rune casting with numerology involved. So those might be something of interest to you coming up in the future as well. Okay, guys, we hope you have a wonderful year 2021. We look forward to seeing you in future videos, and may the stars guide your path. Bye-bye. Hello, Aquarius Pile 3, those of you that chose the blue stone. We're going to see what kind of general energies or other things you might be dealing with throughout this year. We have our Black Moon Astrology card, and we're going to look in the booklet for that because there's lots of detailed information, so there might be some important things that you get from that. We also have our tarot cards to get more information or confirmation from. We're also going to look at our charms here coming forward, and we have our oracle spheres that we're going to be doing, so you might get an answer to a question that you're going to ask here later on. All right, let's get started and see where we're at. We have the number 45, the part of fortune increase. Oh, that sounds exciting. Let's see what the book has to say here. 45. I like the part of fortune. It's cool. Okay. Fortune favors the brave, and that's attributed to Terence, 190 to 1159 BC. In early mythology, Fortuna was the daughter of Jupiter, the god of good luck. She is the Roman goddess of destiny and bounty. Her name in Latin is Fere and means she who brings forth. The part of fortune is just one of the lots among several used in astrology. However, it is considered the most important one. Lots are also known as Arabic parts. After the fall of the Roman Empire, Western astrology picked up the Arabian and Persian practice of reading lots in a horoscope. Lots are based upon mathematical calculations, the distance between 2 points, with the degree of the rising sign, the ascendant, added. The part of fortune is the same distance from the longitude of the ascendant as the moon lies from the sun. So, if the sun and moon are conjunct, that is, almost perfectly aligned, then the part of fortune will fall on the ascendant. If, on the other hand, the sun and moon are in opposition to each other, then the part of fortune will fall on the descendant, or the cusp of the 7th house. Many look upon the part of fortune as moon energy, which means the talents and gifts it endows upon an individual are both nascent and unconscious. It is as if its powers are waiting beneath the surface of water, and when that water is stirred by action or thoughts, those talents and gifts emerge. When the part of fortune card turns up in a reading, it means a time when things begin to flow more easily, and you will have your success. But success and how it will come about and how long it will take will very much depend upon the surrounding cards. You may want to take advantage of this time of easy flow to resolve conflicts. It is time to heal that toxic situation which has been so difficult to overcome. Since the part of fortune mostly means gifts, you may want to take on another area of study or master another art form. You are more creative and in tune with your imagination as well as your emotions. This card also means that benefits will suddenly be placed in your path. Since fortune is fate, it will very well seem as if you've just stumbled into them. Disagreements are improbable, but if they happen, you will likely take the high road. Another area that looks extremely fortunate is anything to do with public relations or promotion. This is a period of recognition and achievement. Your overall popularity is increasing, and some type of recognition is on its way. It is also a favorable time for learning, teaching, or taking exams. You may want to do good and honor others. Through this, you will gain respect and opportunity. You will heartily share what you have gained for yourself with others. Injustices of any kind will challenge and rouse you into action. If your question is in regards to romance or any other type of relationship, know that the situation is a fated one. It is meant for both of you to help fulfill each other's calling. This will not be a relationship you can ever move away from easily. Destiny is involved, so together you are called to achieve and master higher things that would be more difficult had you not met each other. In this, there will be challenges even though the love will always remain. Your desire to fly is strong at the moment. Any shackles previously placed are being smashed and you are experiencing a release. Moving ahead is what this card is all about. Madame Fortune smiles upon you. The part of fortune card in brief. Inherent talents, the gifts one is born with, what comes easily, what is natural, instincts, perception, desires, success, gains, where one has good fortune, happiness, wealth, creativity, what flows in easily, having your needs provided for, encountering success, increase, generosity, openness, public recognition, acclaim, good health, being virtuous, habits, patterns, sensation, a sense of belonging, the gifts of childhood, family issues, cycles, finding balance, anxiety, fear of failure, taking in more than you can handle, repairing what needs to be fixed, working off the grid, being responsible solely for your own victory. The corresponding tarot card is the Ten of Pentacles. The key ideas are where you are lucky, fortune, karmic triggers, destiny, and fate. Okay, let's see what other cards we have going here, which will help us figure out what's going on with this. We have financial constraints, number 13. That's interesting. because the part of fortune deals with increase, and then 13 deals with financial constraints. So let's see what we got going here with that. We have the Queen of Cups, the Seven of Swords, the Page of Swords, the Eight of Swords, interesting, the Page of Pentacles, the World card, the Five of Cups, the Wheel of the Year, the Emperor, the Queen of Swords, the Five of Wands, and the Nine of Pentacles. Okay, interesting. Okay, what I kind of see with this, with some of the cards that have shown up, first of all, you have lots of swords energy, and the swords are air energy, and so is Aquarius, the sign of air as well. So, like other Aquarians this year, I do feel like thoughts, ideas, other things are going to be important for you this year. But what's interesting about that is I think you guys need to pay a specific attention to the types of thoughts that you have. Okay? Because I do think that there might be a tendency this year to think of things from the negative side, if that means anything to you guys. There might be a tendency to not notice how you can go forward, not notice good ideas that are coming to you, and just kind of paying attention to things. The Five of Cups energy is very much not noticing what's being offered to you or what's available to you, and paying attention to the downside. You might start off the year with some financial constraints, and some things that are a little difficult for you, and I think that might be where some of these swords energies are coming in as well. We do have the Seven of Swords where you might feel cheated, or like somebody has gotten one over on you, or maybe even taken something away from you. We have the Page of Swords, which I really like because pages are a youthful energy, and I do think dealing with youthful people this year would be very important for you. Actually, that's kind of true for all Aquarians this year, but we'll talk about that in a minute. But we also have the Eight of Swords, and this Eight of Swords is being blinded to ways forward, ways out, and also not seeing a way out, not seeing a way out of your situation. And I think you might get stuck in that energy a little bit early on in the year. I think that that's something you might have some conflicts, but not really, and we'll talk about that in a minute too. But I really feel like you guys might get stuck in your own heads a little bit early on in the year. You might be worrying about past events. You might be worrying, you could be listening to this reading right now and going, part of fortune, yeah, right. I kind of get that feeling where you're going, yeah, right, yeah, that's not going to happen. I don't see that. And I could feel you maybe kind of having that kind of energy right now. And maybe early on in the year, maybe even kind of feeling like, yeah, no, things haven't really gone that well. I really don't see any way out of this situation. I don't see any fortune coming my way or anything like that. And I feel like that might be the energy you start out the year with. That might be where you're at the moment, where, you're kind of going through. But I do see that things will start turning around for you this year. The wheel of the year is going to start turning. And so instead of you being in the winter, and I don't mean literally winter, I mean the winter type of attitude, the swords type of attitude, you're going to move more into springtime and more into more favorable events happening your way. The Wheel of Fortune represents changing your fortune from one type of fortune to another. And so if you are feeling some financial constraints or having some issues with finances, that should change throughout the year, and some more fortune should come your way. Some things that are better for you should come your way. You do have the Page of Pentacles, which could be bringing you good fortune. You do have the Queen of Cups, which is a good emotional energy. You also have the Nine of Pentacles, which is harvesting good fortune and good things. So I see that we have the Queen of Swords, you have the Queen of Cups, and the Queen of Swords. So I think your headspace will get better, your emotional space will get better. And then we also have the Emperor, and Emperors, they've got everything. They're on top of the world, and you have the World card, which just kind of shows the world coming to you. The Five of Wands here, I noticed how it's youth training and learning how to fight and things like that. And we do have the Five of Swords here, or I mean the Page of Swords, and you have the other page. I do think dealing with children this year, or teenagers specifically, will help you this year. I do think you could be a good mentor for them. I do think that the emotional happiness that can bring to you will be good for you and help your soul heal from some of these other energies that you might have going on at the moment. I do feel like it'll be beneficial for both of you, both ways. So if that is something you've been thinking about doing, or if you have nieces and nephews or grandchildren, or you want to go help out at the POW Club or the Boys or Girls Clubs, or you want to foster a child this year even, a teenager, I think all of those things, any of those things, if any of those things appeal to you at all, if it's anything that you've been thinking of, I really think that this is a good year to go forward with that, because I do think mentoring children, especially young adults and teenagers, I do think mentoring them this year could be very useful to you and can be very stabilizing for you. We do have the 13 on the financial constraint cards. And when you add those two numbers together, 1 and 3, it actually comes out as a 4. And a 4 is a balanced energy. It's a home energy. It's dealing with the home and the family and other things. And so I do feel like dealing with the problems at home, working in your home, helping to improve your home in any way, shape, or form that you can will help. I think you can. A lot of us this year have been stuck at home or haven't been able to get away from home that much. And also, if you've lost your job or if you've had to work from home or you've had other issues like that, you might be feeling very constrained right now, and you might have that might be where the constraint feeling is coming from. You might also have had to lower your hours. You might have had other things happen where your financial constraints are coming in as well. And I do see that changing throughout the year. So even if you're in that headspace right now, even if you're in that mode right now, I do see your wheel of year changing. You're getting the world. You have your part of fortune. Fortune is going to favor you this year. It's going to start, things are going to start happening for you that you didn't expect, that you didn't see. And things are going to start improving as time goes on. And at first you may have trouble seeing that. You may have trouble even realizing that that's going to happen. You may not even believe it. But when it does start to happen, I do think that you might go, oh, okay, maybe things are getting better. And then things should start going even better from there, because once you start getting out of the one head space, things usually start improving greatly and drastically. And I kind of see that is where you guys are moving this year. Okay, we do have our charms. Let's go ahead and look at those, because I want to see if there's any other messages or other energies you might be dealing with this year. And then we also have our Oracle Sphere, so where you can be asking a yes or no type of question and get an answer for that here in a few moments as well. Okay, we'll go ahead and look at our charms first and see where we're at there. Will look good. Okay, let's see. Well, we have some letters here. Let's see what those might spell out first, or what we have there. We have a G, an H, a K, an S, an L. There are no vowels. How interesting. An R, a C, an F, and a B. So no vowels there, which is interesting. So we'll have to make up our own words without the vowels, which can be done. So we've got that going. I'm going to go ahead and say those letters out to you one more time so that way you can go through and decide if there's any words that pop out at you, or if there's any specific messages that you hear when you hear the letters, or things like that. So we have F, B, G, H, K, S, R, L, and C. Okay, so I don't know, those might mean something specifically to you. When you see those letters, you might think of specific words or other things that might go there for you guys. So those are just basically specific messages for y'all. All right, we have the Ace of Cups, which is a wonderful abundance card. It's showing ever-flowing abundance, starting of new abundance, all of that going there, which is great. We once again have the Two of Swords. Whenever something doubles up in energy, because we do not have the Two of Swords in this one. That showed up in another reading recently. Okay, that was another Aquarian reading. But the Two of Swords, once again, is that energy of feeling stuck, not knowing where to go, having to make a decision, those kinds of energies. So it's interesting that the Swords energies that you guys are getting are all that kind of energy, because we also have the Four of Swords, which I told you earlier, fours dealt with family and home life and other things and balance. And we also have the Four of Cups as well. But the Four of Cups energy often deals with not seeing what's offered to us, and not as being what's available to us. And so that's interesting that you guys are still in that energy where you might not notice that. Also, the Four of Swords is kind of the respite energy. It's kind of resting after or before a battle, or after a battle, or rejuvenating and getting new energies. And so I do think that you will be doing that, resting and then changing things up as time goes on. We do have the Eight of Hearts and the Queen of Diamonds, which is Pentacle card. So once again, a Queen of Pentacle. So to me, that is, Queen being on top of it, Pentacles being our earthly desires, money, those kinds of things coming to us. I kind of see that as being something that you can have available to you there. I also, with the Eight of Hearts, I think that's a good heart type thing. I do see a swan with a baby swan. So once again, I think dealing with children is very useful, very important. Also gardening, so nurturing children, I think once again is important. Also, we have the seahorse. That's been showing up in a lot of readings lately. But with the seahorse, the male seahorse takes care of the young and deals with them. And I kind of, once again, dealing with young people, I think will be very good for you this year. We also have the flowers, so watering, nurturing the flowers in the garden, nurturing yourself, nurturing things. We have the balloons, which is putting ideas into the air, but it's also children as well, because children, carry on and hold balloons and do that. So, and also kind of the star here, I see that as, just kind of being the guiding light and the guiding star. So that's important. We also have the gloves here, but I see them in this case as helping hands or helping with things. We have the miracle one, and that is what I was talking about with you earlier, with getting things that are just coming to you and seeming like a miracle, like they were things that you did not expect, and then just miraculous things happening. We also have what's for you will not pass you by, and that's important too, because that just means you're part of fortune. Things that are fated, destiny, things that you're supposed to get coming to you will come to you. So even if you're in the headspace of thinking that, oh no, I'm not going to get that, why would I get that, or why would that even come to me? By being in that headspace, if it's meant for you to come to you, it will come to you, and you will get it. It might be harder for it to get to you with that headspace, so do try to get out of that as much as possible, but it will come to you. We do have the Cupid, which, for once again, I see youth when I think of that, because Cupid is actually a youth in a lot of depictions of him. But I also kind of see there might be some budding romance for a few of you guys this year. because the part of fortune can bring good romance as well as finances and other things to us. When we think of fortune, a lot of times we think of finances, but it could also be love life as well. And so if that is something that you guys are kind of down on yourselves about, or don't think that you could ever have, a good romantic relationship or whatever, especially with this Five of Cups energy here, just know that that might be something coming to you this year as well, that the part of fortune might be bringing to you. We do have the confident kitty and the butterflies and the rabbit, looking out over the stars and things. So I kind of just see those as tapping into your imagination, tapping into the wonders of the world, nature, being confident, having hope, those kinds of things. Those are all important things for you this year, and I do think that you do need to work on that and go that direction with those things. So that's just kind of something that I think was just kind of an extra little message there for you guys on that. Okay, we do have our oracle spheres here. Basically, if you've been thinking of a yes or no type of question that you'd like an answer to, it could be about the upcoming year. It could be about something you just wanted some information on, or something you were curious about recently. We have 4 different stands that you can choose to put your answer on. We have red, blue, yellow, and green, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And you decide which one you would like your answer to appear on, and then we'll get our answers to the question here. And hopefully that will be an answer to your question, since there are some different choices. This is a general reading, so the answer may not be there for you, but generally for most of you it should be. But there will be a lot of people watching the video, and so it is possible that you won't get an answer to your specific question, but hopefully you will, since there are 4 choices here. All right, number 1, red, is a very likely. Number 2, blue, is not sure. That might mean the question isn't very clear, wasn't stated very clearly, or that there's factors that need to be played out before the answer can be given, because it might change up how things happen. We have a not now for number 3, yellow. And number 4, green, is a maybe. All right, so number 1, red, is a very likely. Number 2 is a not sure, blue. Number 3, yellow, is a not now. And number 4, green, is a maybe. So that's the answers to our Oracle Sphere questions. I really hope you guys had some important information come out of this reading. I look forward to you guys having a really good year coming forward with your part of fortune, and remember to believe in that. Please give the video a thumbs up and share the channel with your friends and family. Put it out there on all the different social medias. That would all be extremely helpful to me. Also, if you can leave comments in the comment section and subscribe to the channel. All of those things are free to do. They help the channel grow. We are not monetized through YouTube, and we are in our growth phase where we're really trying to grow the channel, and those things will help out greatly in that endeavor, so we really appreciate that. Check out our other videos on the channel. We have lots of timeless tarot readings out there on lots of different topics that might be of interest to you. We have videos on how to read tarot cards, so you might want to look at those. We also have videos on flip-throughs of different tarot decks, so you can see what they look like. Coming forward in the near future, we're going to start a new series of divination dealing with runes and with numerology, so that might be something you want to check out when we post those as well. All right, guys, we look forward to seeing you in future readings, and may the stars guide your path. Bye-bye.